The suspect in today's shootout is Thomas Ornelas. And John, you found that this is a guy with an extensive and violent criminal background.
That's right, Mike. Court records we've obtained show he was awaiting trial later this year after being arrested on attempted second-degree murder charges last year in Mesa County. Now, this was a case that included additional charges of assault with a deadly weapon and assault with extreme indifference. Ornelas had pled not guilty on all counts. He was out on bond. Given his violent history, his death today in a shootout with a state trooper is not a surprise. But with so many arrests and convictions, there's certainly a question of why the judicial system saw fit to return him to the street to await a trial for second-degree attempted murder.
A state trooper in critical condition tonight shot during a traffic stop. Police say a man opened fire along I-70 near Glenwood Canyon, hitting Trooper Eugene Hoffacker. Listen to this dramatic radio traffic to hear what happens next.
Shots fired, heavy, officer down.
Shots fired and officer down, I-70 at the 129 westbound. Leg wound with lethal blood loss.
Scene is secure. I stat though, I'm losing him.
This trooper was shot by a person who was released from Mesa County's system. And through the incredible work and the incredible reform that we had done in Mesa County and the elimination of the bond schedule, this was a person that was still considered high risk. The only alternative was for the judge to set a really high cash bond with this hope that he wouldn't make it. Well, he made it, and he was out on bond.
Colorado and almost every other state and local jurisdiction lack effective preventive detention statutes, tools that allow courts to detain defendants who have been found through a risk assessment to pose a high risk to public safety before trial. We know from research that the current pretrial system in America allows half of the most dangerous defendants to be released before going to trial, sometimes with tragic results.
I'm Trooper Eugene Hoffacker. We're the Colorado State Patrol. I've been employed with the State Patrol for 6.5, 7 years now.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened when you and the other trooper encountered Thomas Ornelas in that vehicle on the side of the road?
And I picked up Trooper Gosnell, and we were en route to Glenwood Springs. We entered the Glenwood Canyon and rolled up on a motorist assist. Originally thought it was an abandoned vehicle. And I made contact with the driver, and immediately upon making contact, I realized it was going to go downhill quickly just from some indicators of intoxication and inebriation from some drugs as well. Noticed some gang tattoos on the suspect that was in the vehicle, and from there gathered some information related to the other trooper, and then before you know it, then he started firing upon us.
Thomas Ornelas had paid 15% or less. Of the $75,000 bond set by the court, he paid at most $11,250 to a bail bonding company to secure his release in March of 2013. Despite a pretrial services program recommendation that no set of conditions can reasonably assure public safety or the defendant's appearance in court.
How did you feel when you learned that the man who had shot you was known to be a high risk to public safety, but was able to get out of jail pre-trial on a money bond?
Initially a little upset, but I know right now it's part of the business, part of what goes on with the our current criminal justice system. So I try not to get too hung up on that, just because it wasn't going to do me to get any more upset about the situation. I need to worry about my recovery and get better. I know a lot of friends and family were extremely upset about the situation and are wish there could be some changes, but rightfully so, nearly losing my life on that incident.
So do you think that a system that allowed for the detention of those assessed to be too high of risk to be released would improve public safety?
Absolutely. I think we need to not only worry about the officers that are out there putting their life on the line, but all the rest of the citizens that could be coming in contact with these people. And we need to make sure that safety is our primary concern. So. As
you've learned more about the pretrial stage of criminal justice, do you think you're likely to get involved in promoting pretrial reform?
I don't know enough about the entirety of the system. I haven't really Especially since my incident, I haven't had a whole lot of time, but I definitely wanted to look more into that and hopefully be an advocate for it, and maybe we can make some changes for the positive. So
each state is different, but in some states, having a workable preventive detention statute might require a constitutional amendment. Regardless of what it takes to implement this needed part of pretrial reform, the ability to hold defendants who are truly dangerous before trial must exist for safe, fair, and effective pretrial justice. Please call upon and support your state policymakers in protecting officers and communities alike.